and welcome back to Story Reckless. I am Nathan. I will be your DM this evening. I use he, him pronouns, and let's pass it over to our players.
My name is Claire. My pronouns are they, them, and I am still playing Quidam, half-elf grave cleric.
And my name is Olive. I use they and she pronouns, and I am playing Lovelace Centaur Barbarian.
Just that
Nice.
tonight? Wow. Okay.
I mean, we had a sad. What do you want me to say? Like child killer?
Oh God. Well, on that note,
We did it. It was very sad.
It was. I know. I feel like I should actually change the music for this recap because this music is far too happy. Well, on that note, let's do a brief recap here as we do our final episode before we do our postmortem next week. So, with all of that being said, as last time, as Quidam and Lovelace escaped out of the platinum mine, out of the Meanlock's nest after just destroying the infestation of Meanlocks within, you made your way back out into the village, knowing that one, there is at least one Meanlock left within the mayor's house, the abandoned house, and also to look around the village for some components that Quidam required to cast a spell that they believe could maybe help with this situation. After having a very fruitful endeavor of going into the abandoned blacksmith's quarters, finding the components you needed, Quidam, as well as finding a hidden compartment in the floorboards where there was weapons stashed away, as well as some iron and a ring. The weapons were very finely made, one of which appeared to be slightly enchanted, which Lovelace picked up, a short sword with platinum designs of serpents, as well as a secondary, non-magical, but nevertheless a secondary short sword that is almost like a disarming sword. But Quidam also found a small ring, which gave images of water and gliding through streams and lakes as Quidam put it on their finger. After all of this, the two of you, as the day was drawing ever closer to its end, you moved into the mayor's house and systematically lit up every room, making it impossible for the creature within to escape. And as you cornered it in a final darkened bedroom, you entered in, Quidam's light shining inside, and you could see this Meanlock huddled in the corner, clutching a wooden bed, which appeared to be a child's bed, and underneath was a abandoned stuffed bugbear toy. And upon one of the strange, almost vestigial limbs on the front of this Meanlock, you could see a ring kind of pushed into the now strange flesh of this creature. And on that ring was a snowdrop blossom, the very insignia found on the Mayor Lee Duvazen's portrait in the other room. The two of you decided you needed to put this to rest, but Quidam, wanting to bring comfort to this creature, disabled their light source, and in that moment of darkness, it teleported away. And instead of becoming angry with Quidam, Lovelace embraced them as the two of them huddled in the dark, dealing with this trauma. And in the dark, you heard a single gunshot ring out, and a moment later, Manfred entered the room, saying that he had dealt with the creature as it tried to flee. And that is where we left off last session. The two of you are within. Unless you want to do anything else in the manor or have time to talk amongst the two of you as Manfred left, we can go on to whatever you would like to do next. Oh, I'm pretty quiet. Thank you. Thank you for that, Winged Scribe. Sorry, my gain here must have got knocked down on my mic. This is why I should really monitor myself. Next arc, I'll get better at it.
You say that every arc, Nathan.
Hey, I gotta try one little step at a time. Also, last time I like was actively monitoring my voice, it was really distracting, so I just got to get used to it. Anyways, enough of that. So, the two of you, what would you like to do?
Can we like maybe time skip to the next morning? I could like see
Yeah.
the camera opening on us, like
Of
putting the
course.
stuff on the gravestones.
Yeah. And I'm happy to do that with oh, now I'm peeking. God, I really gotta. Sorry, I should have done this beforehand. This is why I should include this in my checklist of testing stuff. Yeah, for this, I'm happy to do a lot of montage type stuff because we're kind of wrapping this all up. So yeah, we open up on the next morning, all of you standing around the gravesite with. Do you want to kind of scatter the various items about?
Yeah.
Kind of on. I mean, some of these items, it's going to be impossible to know who they belong to.
Sure, but just so they can be up here with people they know.
Yeah. So as all of you are standing there the following morning, you can see all these items laid out. And another thing you're noticing is that this morning there are actual birds that are calling out in the forest, and that mist has completely lifted, and there's just sunlight streaming down through the trees in the early morning light.
I think while presumably Quidam, you're kind of like placing these things out. Like Lovelace is just like standing in the background, like uncomfortably pawing at the ground. And just kind of like shifting around, not really knowing what to do with herself, but like feeling that she should be somber.
Oh, Lovelace, can you help me lift this? And I
sure.
kind of half lift Adeline Crean's gravestone that we found half finished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got you. I got it.
And just kind of place it in an empty spot.
While all this is happening, Montfort and Renwyn are off to the side. I mean, they'll, if you ask them to, they may help, but they are off to the side right now, just discussing amongst themselves. You can see they're actually comparing notes right now, sitting in like a little grassy area just outside of the gravesite. So the two of you get this gravestone up into place.
Stand next to Lovelace and just kind of gesture at the objects, the gravestones, and by just the entire valley almost. I feel like I should say words. I don't know that I have any more. This sucks. I don't know that there's much more that I have other than that.
Yep. Sorry we couldn't do more.
Yeah.
Weren't totally our faults.
Well, no. I mean, none of this was our fault. I just wish we could have gotten here earlier.
Yeah. Hopefully things are more at rest now.
Yeah. I'd like to write out what has happened, both kind of for the past 70 years and also what we've experienced, and leave it next to that book on the Fae in Lee's office, in Lee's library, just in case someone else comes by so they know what happened.
Speaking of that, well, Quidam, like what? Are other folks going to come by? What are we going to tell Screws?
I will take her a few steps farther from Manfred.
Yeah, you see the lanky form of Montford hunched over right now, actively talking to Renwin, who isn't even sitting, but they're about at eye level.
I don't know. If Manfred finds platinum, he will tell her. I don't know if we can persuade him not to.
Do we want Screws to know?
I think it would be easiest if she didn't, but I don't see a way to prevent her from knowing. Do you?
Not really. I mean, what? We just close this place up and hope that it gets swallowed up by the mountains? I don't know if that's how these things go.
Yeah. You know, you always hear stories and fables about things that were sealed away for 1,000 years, causing trouble later.
But then again, like, we tell Box and Screws about this, and she's just going to send more folks down there into the dark. It's just going to happen all over again.
I'm afraid of that. If we could somehow convince her that it ain't profitable, if it ain't safe, not for the individuals she'd be sending down here, but for the guild as a whole.
Yeah, that's the hard one, because she'll send souls down there even if it ain't safe for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid she would.
I don't know, like, just trying to think, if I was the worst possible person, what would convince me to be safe about this thing? Like, I don't know. I've known her for a long time. She's practical.
That's true.
And if we make it clear that one of the major operating risks for this mine is any sort of accidents or bad stuff happen to folks, and the whole thing will get closed down. So, like,
Yeah.
either she invests in safety or she loses the whole thing. That's not a long-term solution, though.
It ain't. I do trust her to be careful. And I do trust her to spend money where it's needed.
But do you trust whoever comes after her
No.
runs this place next?
No, I don't. Although, that might be a while. I think
you hear some soft footsteps coming up next to you, Lovelace. And you can see that Manfred and Renwin are headed over.
Hey friends, how you feeling? Ready to head back in? Take one last look?
Yeah, that's what we were coming over here for, to determine whether there's any of such platinum, like you said, is in the mine. Manfred and I were just talking about it, and, well, I might be a little awkward. It sounds like you folks are trying to set up your own operation, and that's what I'm out here to do as well. Manfred's trying to pull me in on the deal to work together, but kind of have my own thing going, so guess we'll have to deal with that later. Anyways, shall we?
you all right. Can I get an insight check on Manfred? What's his idea of dealing with it later?
Go ahead, make an insight check.
19.
Okay. He looks very conflicted. He looks really nervous, keeps wringing his hands, his eyes are darting around, and he's just anxious. and using that energy, he's all right. Let's get in there, get this over with. Don't want to dilly dally. Lovelace, you want to lead the way?
Yeah, here goes. Once more into the dark.
Okay. So, what is your intention? Both of you, what is your intention here?
That's a great question, my friend.
Where are you taking Manfred and Renwin? Because I know there was some, some deception thrown out there earlier.
I am following Lovelace's lead.
Okay,
God
Lovelace,
damn
what
it.
do you want to do?
Ah. So I just want to talk out of character. Like, what are
Yeah.
the stakes here?
Go
like,
for it.
the stakes are we either let this place do some kind of deception, have Fox Screws not know kind of that there's something valuable here for sure. Or like it looks like there was a platform in the mine and it got mined out. Is like I think the most plausible thing. But and then like let this place just get swallowed by the mountains. I mean if it stayed out of sight for 70 years, time heals all wounds, I guess. And it's not actively bleeding anymore. If there's no more like folks around here throwing around bad emotions. Or the alternative is to bring more people in, potentially have the situation repeat itself. But like also be able, like if we like let people know the truth of what happened here, like it might be better than just like ignoring it and like letting all of these folks' pain like go away forever.
Yeah, I would.
Hello.
I would like to do some writing, do some talking with folks, do some recording of what happened here so that it ain't forgotten. If we can prevent Box of Screws from coming back here, that's great. I think it is ultimately more important that people know about it.
Yeah, I think in that case, I'm gonna lead them back to the place I actually saw Platinum.
Okay.
Let's go down this route.
Okay, so as you all push into the dark once more, winding your way down, eventually getting to the cave-in, and off to your right you can see that circular entrance into the warren that is the Meanlock Lair. You carefully make your way through this moss-covered tunnels in the quiet, in the dark, and eventually open up into that large chamber. We can see those stone slabs and the remaining bodies of the Meanlocks that you had killed earlier, as well as the one pillar that is completely caved in. And Lovelace, you see, as you remembered, up in the ceiling there, as all of your light sources come into this room, that glint of silver in the ceiling. While Renwin and Manfred are looking around, Manfred turns to you. So, is it in here?
Yep, right up there. Look up.
And Renwin as well looks up wide-eyed. Okay, this is good. Okay, and he goes over to the collapsed pillar and starts pushing aside the rock and sifting through it, eventually pulling out some pieces. Renwin eagerly runs up beside him, and you actually see for a moment the two of them kind of giddy as they're looking at these pieces of stone, and you can see these glints of this silver material running through it like veins. They're both kind of conversing with each other. Yes, it most certainly is. Platinum, see the way to light. Yeah, I know. I can tell the way the light is catching it. And look at the way it goes through the rock. Oh, this is. Can you look at how big that vein must be? Massive. I know this is.
You got to do scratch tests, like hardness tests, or like
yeah, they take out their full tools and doing that. Bite the stuff. No, I'm just kidding. So yes.
I mean, that's what geologists do. You eat the rocks.
Tasting it. But yes, the two of them excitedly go through the rubble and confirm, and eventually come back to you. This is wonderful. Most definitely a platinum vein. This in here is a bit interesting having to come down these tunnels, but if this is here, there's probably more. So we're all set. This is great. I have a bit I've taken for myself to bring back to Box of Screws as proof. Yeah, I got some as well. Well, Manfred, maybe you could get in line with my business here. If you're, I'm not going to be giving up. That's fine. So maybe the best man win, as you would say. We should really let's speak back in Maerin. Perhaps we can work out a deal. I mean, I was here first. When I was in Maerin, I was there. I was scoping this whole area out. So.
Y'all, let's talk the business outside of these tunnels. Let's not linger here.
Yeah, this is a good idea. He looks nervously back towards the chamber where the water is still dripping in that area where the black pudding was located. So, with that, you all...
While they're doing that, I will just lay out the bodies of the bean locks nicely.
Okay. Yeah. Easy enough. You start collecting the bodies and laying them out in this main central chamber.
Is it worth burying these folks?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out exactly where the line between the mean lock and the person is. I don't know even if there is a line.
Let's leave them here. Next folks who come down,
yeah,
they should know.
Yeah. All right.
I guess like we put them on those like little altars or like those tables, I think.
Okay. Easy enough. Pick them up and lay them all out.
It's better than leaving them on the floor.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't like this whole thing. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's go.
You exit out through the mine, eventually coming back into the bright sunlight, standing there at the entrance. What would you all like to do next? As Renwin and Manfred are getting their things together, ready and anxious to get back down the mountain.
Quidam, you wanted to do some writing?
Oh yeah, there's that too. There's something I can do that I gathered all the silver and iron for. It ain't much. It ain't much, but I could prevent Faye from exiting here for a while. Not any kind of length of time that would be useful. But I could do something. Do you think it's worth it?
I don't know. I don't know about this magic. It's kind of your domain.
Let's go do that writing.
Okay. So you want to head back to the mayor's house and...
Yeah, and I'll probably both write and also bring the mayor back to that room and put her on that bed with that stuffed bugbear.
Okay.
I don't think this is her room, but this seemed important to her, so...
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can do all of that and spend some time in the library writing out exactly what you want. Is it the recounting of what happened 70 years ago and what happened to all the people.
Yeah, and then a more detailed explanation of what we experienced here.
Okay.
If I could make 2 copies, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, it takes time, but you can do that. Lovelace, are you doing anything while Quidam is in the library writing all this out?
I could imagine myself like running interference, where if like Manfred and Renwin like are like, let's go. I'm like, no, we're not leaving till Quidam says we are.
Yeah, and that definitely happens. But both of them respect your presence and your your authority here, especially after everything you've all been through together and what they've seen. So they probably only press once. You can see Renwin maybe trying to come over, like looking a bit anxious, and then Manfred just immediately puts a big hand on his shoulder and stops him from scuttling over, and you can see them kind of arguing amongst the two of them. But you're able to do this, Quidam, and at the end of it, you have your account written out and a copy for yourself to bring with you.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Anything else?
Okay, let's head out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you head out without your horses this time. Out of the village as it's getting later in the afternoon as you leave, but you start winding back down what remains of that overgrown path. And by the end of the day, you end up down in that valley, and up above you can see the rising mountaintop and all the way up that small meadow where you presume that pond would be, and the snow-capped peaks beyond it. And you are now working your way down this valley as the sun is starting to set. And you spend your first evening here in the valley. So we will start this traveling. You are still in the wilderness. It will be an easier DC because you've made your way back, but I would like to do the checks for each day. But first, let us start with this first evening. So if the two of you wouldn't mind doing perception checks for me on your first watch tonight.
Does dark vision help? I have dark vision. I get to be one of those players now who yells, I have dark vision.
I mean, we haven't been really getting that nitty gritty with it. I've been having you both. I know. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Technically,
fine.
You would have been.
I got 24.
Oh my goodness. Quidam.
9.
9. Okay. Okay. So, for both of you, as on your individual watches, you are just greeted with the sound of the crickets in the valley and the wind blowing through the evergreens. However, Lovelace, as you exchange out final watch with Manfred and bed down for the evening, as you're drifting off into sleep, and eventually it takes you, you are suddenly awoken by a sound. You hear a blade being drawn.
Lovelace makes noise. Hey!
You bolt up and look, and you can see that Manfred is currently standing over Renwin with the sword drawn, and like puts it back in as Renwin is scrambling awake, looking about a bit panicked. What's wrong?
I think Lovelace
and turns and sees Manfred standing there, who's
just like charges and like knocks down Manfred.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Make an athletics check for me.
Did I see that, Or the
No.
sword, not the... Alright.
Athletics check 19.
You can do acrobatics to contest a grapple, right? You can. Okay, good. Just making sure. 19.
I was thinking more of like a shove.
A shove. Okay, well it doesn't matter.
Like,
He failed. So okay, so you come charging up as you bolt up and charge up to Manfred and just shoulder check him, and he goes spilling into the dirt. The blade that he was trying to put away falls out onto the dirt behind him. Renwyn kind of scrambling up, going, "Whoa, what's going on?" What do you do?
I have my sword down at Manfred. And I think I say,
He's just lying there.
Manfred, only I get to solve problems with violence.
Lovelace?
Explain yourself. Tell these folks what you were just doing.
He keeps looking back between you and Renwyn, who's just standing up now behind you, looking very confused.
If you had the resolve to do it, you should have the resolve to say what you were doing.
It has to be done. No one would know. Please, Lovelace, you don't understand. You don't know box of screws like I do. And Renwyn's just, what is happening right now? I don't...
Manfred, I say, and what were you gonna do about me and Lovelace?
You are on a job for box of screws. If you were to interfere, you would have to deal with her and the consequences that come with getting in her way. Please. This is the only way.
You're going to have to be a little bit more explicit. I'm not quite following. They're going to need folks working these mines. You can't keep a wrap on this.
They're the only ones that know right now. Please.
I don't recall that being part of the job description, Manfred.
It was just supposed to be the three of us. No one else.
Do you really think, Manfred, that you have explored all other options?
Yes, I've been discussing the matters at hand, and this appeared to be the only way forward. Will somebody please fill me in on what's going on?
Renwyn, we're working. I'm sure Manfred has told you, for an individual named Box of Screws, which is part of the guild in Baldur's Gate. These people are violent and organized.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going through your head when you were offering to split the pot with them, but that's not really how they operate.
Can you make a intimidation or persuasion check for me?
I don't know what I'm trying to intimidate or like.
I mean, are you not trying to? Well, I mean, I was interpreting it as you trying to persuade Renwyn. Excuse me. Persuade Renwyn from backing off, or working out.
What let me put it clearly,
Yeah,
Renwin.
yeah.
You're gonna either work for Box of Screws, or I don't know. Next time, I'm not gonna be around here to knock Manfred on his butt.
Oh, yeah. One of those checks, please. I just want to determine see which way he's gonna roll with this. I'll give you advantage on this.
What?
So,
Oh, can you not hear me?
no,
No,
I didn't understand what.
Oh,
roll
intimidation,
one of,
intimidation or persuasion.
that
Sorry.
wasn't Renwin saying one of those checks.
Wait.
Yeah, Renwin
Oh,
suddenly looks at the camera. I didn't need you to make one of those checks for me. No.
I thought he was like asking for like a checkbox. Or was like one of those like checks out.
No, apologies.
Let's go intimidation here.
I'll
Like,
give you
use a
advantage with
scarecrow.
this, mentioning the guild.
Yeah. 16.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of the guild. I didn't realize who I was dealing with. Okay. Yes. Of course. We can work something out. Of course. Fenrin, our employer, is going to want full control of the operation, and as much of the profit as possible, if not all of it. She will not take kindly to someone trying to take over this operation that she so desperately wants. Okay. Well, Lovelace was just pointing out you're gonna need people to work the mines. Perhaps I can assist there. I know people in the region. I come from Neskel, just south of here. We can lots of miners that operate out of there. Yeah. Okay. He can work something out. He looks up at you, Lovelace. Okay.
See, that wasn't too hard now, was it?
I hope you're right. May I get up?
I'm taking this. And I take the sword.
Very well. We should all get some sleep. Okay, I'm going to move. He grabs his roll and starts dragging it over to where you are, Lovelace. I'm just gonna be over here for now. And he settles down.
I need a moment to confer with Quidam. Manfred? You're gonna be fine. Quidam, a word?
I follow.
Settles in.
Just
Crosses his arms.
leaving them together. It's gonna be fine.
I
Okay.
keep both of them in my sides.
Okay.
Quidam,
Yes.
I think I messed up showing Manfred that platinum. I don't want the guild to get... I mean, this could change a lot up in Baldur's Gate. Things will get worse for the crews if they get this much more money.
Yeah. I You say that you've known Box of Screws a long time, and Manfred says that he knows her very well, and I don't think I do. I really don't think I do. If what he says is true, this ain't right. I don't know what we could do. What can we do at this point to change anything?
Well, Box of Screws wants to keep things under wraps. Just tell folks.
That's been the plan, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Go back to Maerin, talk to Lucas and Astra. I don't know, I had some idea of like getting people to tell the story. We have that one book. Let's get other people's opinions too. Like, I wonder if one of Astra's parents is still alive. They're a half elf.
But just think about the consequences. Like, obviously, Box of Screws was hoping to keep this under tighter wraps than she made clear. Manfred's not going to like it. He's going to tattle. Oh, then we just burn that bridge.
That's what this has been about, ain't it?
I don't know if we can have things both ways, like keep working for Box of Screws and the cruise.
No, I agree. I mean, that's why we went on here in the first place, ain't it? I don't know how. It's weird. The word that occurs to me is abandon her. I can't keep doing this. All right, let's tell as many people as we can. We put them in danger, but each person we tell, we dilute the danger somewhat.
Yeah. I mean, you put a whisper of platinum in folks' ear. That's not going to stay under wraps. It'll be like lighting a wildfire down here.
Yeah.
We just got to be prepared for what that means back in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I was hoping to get it both ways. Get a nice paycheck here. Move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
But God, that's how they get you. It's always just one more big paycheck. I shouldn't have come back. I shouldn't have done this.
Maybe no.
It's not too late though.
The only thing we can do is move forward, act as best we can.
What should we do about them? Renwin will join whatever side's winning.
Yeah, he will.
Do we openly just tell Manfred that we ain't playing ball?
Meaning,
We're not going to keep silent? Let him run back and tattle? We do the same to him as he was about to do to Renwin. That's another option.
absolutely not.
All right.
We can be honest with him, yeah. I don't know if that would make things easier. But then at least we would be being honest. I can. I can contact Box of Screws. Like now. Mentally. If we somehow want to get there first.
I don't know what. Anything we tell her just gives her more time to prepare. And that's the one advantage that we have right now is that she don't know nothing.
It's true.
I'm honestly surprised she didn't give like a wand or something to Manfred that could let him talk similarly.
Maybe she don't have such a thing.
This is Box of Screws we're talking about.
I don't know.
She got a way of getting anything she wants. Maybe though. Let's talk to Lucas when we get back to Maerin.
Let's talk to Lucas. I like that idea.
Yeah.
He seems to have a solid head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And I think we head back.
Yeah. And Nathan, just so you know, as long as Renwyn has remained within 60 feet of me, warding bond is still on him.
Oh, wow. Does it last for how long?
There's no end time, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Oh, I lied. 1 hour. Never
Okay.
mind.
I was like, oh, what? That's
No.
remarkable. Okay.
Marriage.
What I was doing
No.
was reading the fine print and not looking at the big thing up at the top.
Yeah, that's...
Fine print doesn't say anything about 1 hour.
Got it.
Oh, hey, wait. Quidam.
Yeah.
If you could talk to Box of Screws, you could talk to Lucas now.
Yeah? What do you want me to say to him?
I don't know, like... No, never mind. We can talk to him face to face. A couple days won't change nothing.
Right.
Okay. You both return back to the campsite. The low burning fire flickering there, casting the shadows around. And Montfort is just not making eye contact with anyone, sitting there, arms crossed, just looking down. Quidam, you do see that he is, there's like ever so slightly like trembling to him as he's sitting there. And Renwyn's just like on the other side of the campfire, staring at Mumford the whole time. His bedroll kind of pulled up, and you can see that clutched in one of his hands, he has the little blow dart tube. So you all settle down as best you can for the night. Montfort disarmed.
He still got his gun. I didn't take his gun.
Yeah, he's
Still
got
has
his gun.
He still has his gun.
But he ain't killing no one quietly this way.
But the rest of the evening goes by without incident. It is just awkward and tense. Probably.
I think Lovelace sleeps fine. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quidam.
Quidam don't.
Yeah. So, as the evening comes to a close and the morning greets you, you have your first day of travel before you. I mean, you got like half a day in, but whatever. We'll call it a day. So we'll just do. Yeah, it's still going to be 3 because you don't have your horses. Okay, so DC is lower for this. I just need you. It's going to be 3 skill checks, whatever you want to use within reason to get down the mountain. See if any complications occur while you're trying to get down the mountain.
I'd like to start off with intimidation.
Okay. How are you going to use intimidation to guide everyone down the mountain?
I think just navigating the awkwardness of the night before.
Yeah.
Of just like Manfred might not be like down to like hold a branch back to like let us all pass or something. I'm just like Manfred.
Okay. So you're
And just like taking control and like
yeah.
forcing us through this like march.
Okay. So with body language and silent looks, you're keeping everyone in line, making
Yeah.
sure that everybody is doing what they should to get
Mostly
you
I
through
want to
this
like
day.
roll travel with intimidation.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
not a good move, but
No, I
it's
like
what we
it.
got.
I like it.
That's a natural one.
Oh my
Bringing
god.
us up to 4.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another d20 for me.
Oh
With
no!
bonuses.
12. Oh no!
Okay. So you are doing your best to keep everyone in line, but it becomes very challenging about, I don't know, mid-morning when as you're starting to go up the other side of the valley, you can see there is what appears to be some sort of storm front building at the top of the mountain that you're going up towards, and this very cold fog starts to spill down the mountainside, and you are by lunchtime swamped in with this thick cold fog that is just blowing through the trees, and your visibility is incredibly poor. So for the rest of the journey, your perception checks will be made at disadvantage as this cold fog, this storm front that has come through, is holding tight there. So not too bad, but you are now having to contend with this fog as you make your way through the day and eventually into the evening, settle down for the night, having to bundle up even more, keep the fire stoked, and closer to its warmth. But that is all that occurs on this day of travel. Do any of you want to do anything on this second night?
Yeah, I would like to immediately follow or be followed by Manfred for watch.
Okay. Simple enough. You can do either of those. Do you want to follow Manfred or
I will
followed
follow Manfred.
Okay, so when he finishes, you will take over. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Both of you make perception checks for me as you do your respective watches.
At disadvantage?
At disadvantage because of the fog.
Not bad. 16.
Okay.
That's another nat 1.
Oh my goodness.
So 6.
Lovelace, you, throughout the evening, you swear that you keep seeing shapes in the fog, and they look like a young centaur just appearing in the fog periodically, and it just keeps happening all night. Yeah, it's however that makes you feel. I'm not going to put words into how your character feels. How do you feel about this as you keep swearing you see this pop up just at the periphery of the light from the fire?
I think my first response is like the response that we learned back in Vermilion. I'm just like, it's just an illusion. It's just my mind. But then like it keeps happening. And I think I enter kind of like a dreamlike like fugue state. Like if I just like dissociate for a long enough period of time. Like I'm not watching nothing at this point.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just completely lost in like my own thoughts and like these like cycles of like memories and like regrets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quidam, remind me again, are you following Manfred? Or followed
Yes.
by? Following Manfred. Okay, so while you're having this Lovelace, you suddenly feel a soft shake. And you look up and see Manfred there.
Hey.
Hello.
Is it your turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I have my sword back? This fog makes me nervous.
You gonna do anything you'd regret?
No. Fenrin and I have been speaking today, and Might be able to work something out.
Tell me, what were you thinking? What have you seen Box of Screw? Like, I know that she's like a nasty piece of work, but what's put this fear into you?
Known her for a very long time. She can be very ruthless. And she told me to make sure that if we did find anything, that the information stays with just us until we get back.
Any ideas why she didn't mention that to Quidam and me?
Honestly, I don't know. Perhaps she was relying on me to make sure that I would communicate it to you if we found anything. She wasn't entirely certain that this was going to be fruitful, considering the source material, but just I've known Box of Screws for a longer period of time than you. I'm confident of that, and I've seen more things, so you just have to trust me when I say that you don't go against her.
Here you go. And I give him back his sword.
Danke. Good night, Lovelace.
Can I Manfred?
Right? You settle in. Quidam,
Yeah.
you eventually feel a gentle shake and have Manfred standing there above you.
Hey.
Roll. It's your turn.
All right.
Night. He will go over.
I'll just like grab his. Oh, he doesn't like being touched.
I mean,
I reach for his elbow and then withdraw my hand, Manfred.
yes.
She really frightens you, don't she?
Yeah.
I don't know her very well at this point. And you said that earlier that you've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
Is it worth getting to know her better?
I don't know. Maybe a long time ago it was. She's changed.
Yes, she has. A fair bit. Do you know how long? when she first changed.
It was slow at first. It's hard to put an exact time on it. But maybe over the past decade or so, she's been... There's a lot of pressure coming down too from Nine Fingers Keen.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate is changing.
I know.
Changing in ways that the guild is not happy about.
I know. I'm afraid for her, and I'm afraid for us.
There's no reason to be afraid as long as you're doing what's right for the guild. They've provided much for me. I've seen how they can make your life better. And that's why this makes me so worried what you and Lovelace are doing here. It would have been so much easier.
It would have, wouldn't it? I am sorry that we are making things difficult for you. But what you wanted to do, I could not have lived with myself if I had just let you do that. I have a very particular relationship with boxes screws. It might help if I talk to her. Specifically me.
You've barely been with the guild. You only just started working with them months ago.
That's true.
I'm not going to stop you, but I do plan to divulge everything to Boxer Screws, every last detail.
No, I understand. I would expect nothing less, given what I've seen of you. In many ways, I think that you are a very upstanding young man.
Upstanding human. Sorry, I thought that might be funny. Okay, I think I need to go to sleep now.
Yeah, all right. Let him go.
Okay. Did you already rolled your check, right?
16.
The rest of the night goes by cold and dreary, but you don't see anything in the fog, and all you hear are the sounds of your companions sleeping around you. And the next morning greets you. Do you do anything, Quidam, before the morning comes, or is that...
Okay. Nah.
Okay. So, another day before you. Quidam, what would you like to do today to help everyone through?
Oh, let's go for... I don't have good options here. Survival?
Survival? Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Just, is this still a disadvantage? Wait, no.
Not survival, because it's not perception. So.
All right. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the cold fog, you were able to find the path through, make it over the ridge and back down into the next valley, continuing your way towards Maerin. You get glimpses of that final ridge appearing through the fog throughout the day, and by the end of this day, you find yourself at the base of what you are pretty confident is the final ridge before you crest over and descend down that canyon into Maerin. So, I would like both of you to do perception checks one more time on this final evening at disadvantage.
14.
Okay.
Another nat one! Woo!
My goodness. Yeah, Lovelace, I think that these nightmares just... sorry, I got distracted by Winged Scribe. I do want to hear that in a moment. So I think you are just continually plagued by these visions and nightmares, and you are just unable to really focus on anything happening around you. Whatever anxieties you might be having right now, I think are just pushing themselves into the forefront of your mind.
And like, I just feel like, you know how you like really get into your head when you're like trying to fall asleep at night,
Yeah.
like, and just like everything seems more catastrophic. It's like I have doomed Baldur's Gate, one way or another. Like if we give Box of Screws the platinum, the guild will be ascendant, and like we'll go back into like their rule essentially. And if we don't, we're basically like plunging them into civil war.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
streets will run red with blood. It'd be so much easier, and it would pay so much better, and like probably be better for the centaurs if I just got paid and let it work itself out. We're not going to stay here anyway. Like,
That's great. Yeah. And as all of those thoughts are swirling through your head, once more you feel the familiar gentle touch of Manfred, and he takes over his watch. Eventually, Quidam, we come to your watch. What did you get?
14.
14, that's right. Again, this evening is without issue, just the fog and the sound of the wind and evening animals around you. And we come to our final day here. So, either of you can lead this day, whichever one would like to.
I got animal handling, but no animals to handle.
I've also looked. I have a pretty high animal handling skill.
Existential crisis.
I mean, I got survival.
Okay.
You got something more interesting?
I have insight.
Insight.
Let's just make it easy. I'll go with survival.
Go for it.
And that is just at not disadvantage. 22, baby.
Excellent. So, on the final day, you crest the final ridge and start working your way down that canyon. The same rocky canyon that you started this journey at, where you saw that familiar rock formation that you were told about from Lucas, and you eventually curve around and reconnect with the old prospector trail that went off in the other direction. And winding your way down the road as the sun is starting to set once more, you can see the twinkling lights up ahead of these two watchtowers and the wooden wall marking the entryway into this canyon and the border of Maerin. You pass through the gates, dealing with the guards, making sure everything's kosher, and eventually end up back in Maerin as the evening comes upon the town. Just a little bit of housekeeping here. Renwyn and Manfred have a brief discussion and decide to meet in the morning at the Board Weasel downstairs to work out the details. And they part ways. And you are left there with Manfred, who looks at the two of you and says, I'm going to retire for this evening. We'll work out the rest in the morning with Renwyn, and then we should start making our way back to Baldur's Gate. Good evening to the both of you. And
Evening, Manfred.
He will pad off towards the Board Weasel. For the two of you, we can go into full-on just kind of little more, even more montage here with the last 20 minutes we have left of our stream. Is there anything you would like to do in Maerin? How long would you like to stay? Like, what do you want to do? What the Maerin's little oyster world is yours thing? What do you want to do?
We got to talk to Lucas.
Oh yeah, we've got to talk to Lucas.
Okay.
Lucas and Astra, at the very least. Frankly, if we could go around and talk to that nice man who had pies and that dwarven woman that you described, I want to see what that rope's about. That was not very many people put a display of rope on their stall.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
Damn birds. Yeah, you can do all those things. What would you like to start with? Millie.
Sorry, no, that wasn't an answer to your question. I was trying to remember her name. Do we want to start with Lucas?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, heading into the Board Weasel, you can see it's pretty lively right now as the evening is rolling in, and you can see off in the corner by the hearth there is that orcish, I believe it's an orcish woman,
yeah,
half-orc,
that one.
yeah, half-orc woman who is playing on. I think I said she had a lyre. So she's there in the corner playing, and she actually has a really nice voice as she's singing a tune along to this lyre. And there's a few folks that are listening in while others are playing either cards or dice. But you can see Lucas is over at the bar, and Millie is just running around dealing with everyone while Lucas is currently talking to a patron. But if you want to talk to Lucas, easy enough to saddle on in. He eventually turns his attention to you. What would you like to say to Lucas, talk to Lucas about?
Hey, Lucas.
Ha! Well, it's good to see both of you back here. Did you make your way all the way up there to Vermillion?
We did. We put the flowers through a proper place. Lucas, can I ask you a question here? And it's an important one.
All right, shoot.
If you could choose between two worlds, one where Vermillion opens back up, thriving mining community, lots of outside interests and support, or another one to let it fade and be forgotten, which one would you choose?
I think I wouldn't want it to be forgotten. I don't want all of them folks' memories and stories to be lost.
Mm-hmm.
I see no sense in getting that mine up and running again. after what I heard and after what I seen, especially from folks who made it out of there.
Yeah.
There's something wrong or cursed up there going on. I don't think we need that back in this world.
Yeah.
Did you find anything, by the way?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unless we take some drastic measures, forces bigger than us are going to know about it soon.
Well, that's just how things go sometimes.
I think it means that we got an important job, though. Like, there's still time to determine the shape of what it looks like. If folks knew and like I think it'd be fair to describe you as a fulcrum upon which the social life of Maerin rests. At least you're part of it. Which means that you're actually in a position of influence here. Like, if there's like ways that you could get the stories of what happened out, like let people know about it, especially people are going to be, word of Platinum gets out, folks are going to be coming here looking for answers. And if like
Oh, yes.
they got some version of the truth, you could go a long way in making that happen.
He leans in on the bar, gets a little closer.
I do wish Millie was around to hear you say all that about me, but in all my time and experience, as soon as the word of Platinum gets around, no matter what kind of ghost stories or horrible things we say about the place, it ain't gonna do squat. Stop people from going up there.
Well, if there was some sort of, I don't know, memorial museum, like some sort of architectural fixture.
Where, here in Maerin?
Yeah, sure. The entrance to Vermilion, the gates to the mountains.
I mean, sure, but to what end? Just to memorialize what happened there, or?
I mean, people are going to tell ghost stories, but it might as well be rooted in something. And folks, I think, respond to things they can see. Something physical.
We have a lot more information, both about what happened back then and what's been happening for the past 70 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We also experienced some things up there that have given us a lot of pause.
Well, Millie's got it. I would love to hear it. Here, I got some time here to listen to your story, hear what happened. And,
Right.
perhaps I can help in some way. I've done well for myself down here in Maerin with this place. Quite a bit stored away. Maybe I can look into what you're talking about there, Lovelace.
Might we get that fine woman over here and listen as well, perhaps? I gesture to the bard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He,
Maki, yeah. No. Hey, Maki! Yeah, alright, when you're done with that one.
well, after some time, the bard finishes up her tune and she makes her way over. You have the ear of both Lucas and Maki, this half-orc bard. Yeah, she has let me think here. She has a lot of black, like, leathers and clothing on that kind of accents with her greener skin. Her skin being a brighter green than some of the other, like, half-orcs and orcs you've seen who have that darker, almost ash gray pigment. But she has these nice black leathers and black long sleeve with little accents of blue running throughout. But she sits down there with the two of you, gives a big smile, her tusk kind of poking out from below, and is ready to listen to your tale.
I tell them everything. I pull out my written notes. I show. Well, I encourage Lovelace to show the sword.
Yeah.
Whistles.
Yeah, they both are very impressed by this. Lucas does comment on the sword and is when he hears about where you found it, and he does say, what were the blacksmiths' names? Yeah, Tormund and Blenus. I think
Blenus is what he said before.
Blenus. Oh yeah, right. That's right. Why? Sorry, Tormund and Blenus. But he says,
well, if the two of them ever come back through here, they're probably going to be wondering about that, but I'll keep it to myself.
but yeah, you tell them the tale, you recount everything to them, they eagerly listen, and you're able to spread the word to the two of them. Yeah. After this long conversation, Lucas does look at the two of you.
Well, it's nice to know what really happened.
And Maki is just wide-eyed looking at the two of you, arms crossed.
Well, that's the wildest shit I ever heard, I'll tell you that much. This is wonderful. Thank you both so much. I can't, this is gonna make such a wonderful tale and a wonderful song. I just can't wait to get started on this. Thank you both. Thank you for including me in this.
Well, absolutely. I thought you might want to hear.
Are you kidding? This is like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Being a bard like myself, always look forward to moments like this. Just hoping that it comes to us. Really, thank you.
And she's just actively writing down the whole accounts of this story. So, Lucas does finish off with saying,
Lovelace, I like your idea. I don't know about setting something up in Vermilion. It's quite a trek for me, but I could work with folks here in Maerin to get something made. And
Maki leans in. Oh, I could help you write up. If you want to put a plaque or something, like you were saying, Lovelace. I could help write up the story that would go underneath it.
I think I'd like that.
So, with that, so you finish up the evening over drinks and food with the two of them. The two of you want to do anything else?
Manfred's not gonna be happy here, Dom.
No, he ain't.
He's gonna come down tomorrow. And the lid's gonna be blown off.
I do want to go around and just give Astra the cliff notes and various other people, anyone who will listen.
Lovelace backs it up by being strong and making it feel credible that like we went into like the nest and came out alive.
Yeah, are you just working your way around the tavern, letting people know?
And not even the tavern, the town.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, following day comes around. You find Astra out in the market. Astra is just so excited to hear all of it, and just like doesn't want you to leave. Just wants to hear every little detail about it, but is also very thankful to hear everything about this. They point you to one of the individuals, the kind of shorter man that was running around the market. He's almost this like skittering beetle of a man running around with this black mustache, and they point you to this individual named Pere Bavon, and they point out that he has connections with Lee Duvizin's wife, who actually came down to Maerin. Upon speaking with him, you do find out that Lee Duvizin's wife actually left Vermillion at the behest of Lee, and she came down here with her 2 children. She started a new life, and Pere is...
Sorry, I've completely lost the thread here. Who are these people?
So, Lee Duvizin, the mayor of Vermillion, sent her wife and 2 kids down to Maerin as things were getting worse and worse.
Got it.
Which, I'm sorry, I don't have all the names. Tifra is the name. So Tifra and her 2 children started a new life down here in Maerin. And Pere is excited to hear this. This is like a whole family tree going on here. But essentially, he points you to his cousin Garthol, who is the last remaining kin of Tifra's. And Garthol is incredibly pleased to hear the full extent of the story and what happened to Lee.
If he feels like making a trek, the manor is up there.
He does let you know and ask you, though, that his half siblings, who were Tifra's children.
Sorry, this is Garthol?
Yeah, Garthol's
is talking to us now?
Yes, Garthol's
All right.
Garthol's half siblings. Sorry. This is like I said, this is like a whole family tree. So Tifra's children, Nia and Tavin, were Garthol's half siblings. So they married into Garthol's family. Garthol asked both of you if you wouldn't mind seeing if Nia is somewhere within Baldur's Gate, because last he heard she had made her way out to Baldur's Gate.
Right.
And if you are able to find Nia, to please recount this tale to her, as she is she had to leave when she was very young from Vermillion and never knew what happened to her mother and what happened to the town. Her mother, Lee. Yes.
All right.
So, with all of that, sorry, that was such
That's so cool.
That was such a like complete family tree, like trying to piece it together. But with all of that said and done, as you spread the tale around, eventually Manfred meeting up with you late in the morning, very perturbed by all the things he's been hearing about, but nevertheless is ready to get going. But I did want to finish up this night with the 2 of you. Did you want to do a brief? I know, Quidam, you talked about wanting to go see the Dwarven Woman's stall. Did you want to do that briefly?
Yes, with kind of the idea of spreading the story and Claire wants to know what that rope is, because
Yes.
Claire thinks it's a magical item, but Quidam wants to tell the story.
Yeah, of course. So going up to her stall, you quickly realize that she is selling a handful of magical items. The rest are just spell components and things of that nature. But she does have in her wares, she has two potions, a potion of animal friendship and an oil of slipperiness, and that rope that is sitting there, she eagerly gestures to it and refers to it as a rope of climbing. So it is a rope that can essentially, I believe you can state a command word and it will extend up to a point, I believe, is how it works.
Now, will it help my friend climb?
She kind of looks up and down at Lovelace. Oh, sure it will.
Lovelace just raises her eyebrow.
Oh, look at her! Look at her arms. I'm certain of it. She could just hoist herself right up there. Quite an impressive lass you got there.
That's fair.
I think it would help greatly.
All right, thank you. What does this slipperiness potion do?
That's a good question. I definitely know what it does.
It's all right. Sometimes you just gotta jog the memory banks.
Yeah. Oil of... Well, you see here, you have to slather it on oneself, all over yourself. But at the end of doing this, you will be able to move much more freely, and it's very difficult for anyone or anything to restrain you. I know it sounds a bit ridiculous, right? But trust me, this works much better than just pure oil. Basically, it grants you the freedom of movement spell.
That's nice.
Yeah. So for the duration, I know it's the most ridiculous thing. I'm gonna lather myself up with this oil, and but you basically are while you use it, you are unaffected by difficult terrain. Spells and other magical effects can neither reduce your speed nor paralyze or restrain you. So yeah, part of that, she says, it sounds a bit ridiculous, I know, but part of the oil is it is actually able to deflect certain arcane weavings of magic that would stop you from being able to move or paralyze you.
Oh, that sounds very useful. Lovelace, do you want that?
Nope.
All right.
I'm good.
Thank you. May I have 10 gold's worth of powdered silver, if you have that?
Most certainly. And she turns around and passes it off to you. So mark off 10 gold worth. All right.
I have no money again.
So yeah, it sounds like you aren't interested in the other items. So with that, you spread the tale of Vermillion amongst the town of Maerin, and Lucas is hard at work already, talking with Maki and other individuals to set something up to make a memorial to Vermillion within Maerin. So, with all that said and done, I believe that this will wrap up this portion of this adventure arc. Next week we'll do a post-mortem, and then we're going to take a 2-week break for the holidays, and then we'll start our 4th adventure. So thank you everybody for joining us as always.
Yeah. If you have questions for us, send them in through...
Anything.
What do we have? We have...
Instagram.
Yes! Thank you. That's what I was stumbling for. Instagram. The Twitch chat. If you know us personally, we have an email.
Yeah. Twitter.
Yeah. We have Twitter as well.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Any of those will work. And of course, you can always just ask questions on the spot when we run the stream. But it's just going to be hanging out, talking about this last arc. Yeah, just what happened, questions we had, whatever. So, yeah.
Wow.
I got a thing.
Yes.
I want to hear Winged Scribe tell to us how to make powdered iron.
Yeah. Sure. If Winged Scribe wants to, it's probably going to be very involved. Winged Scribe, can you say it in like a sentence, like just a brief? It doesn't have to be the full process.
My money is still on like
a
file.
That really has to be it. Can you answer a question? Is it done with a file or is it way more complex? But while we wait on Winged Scribe, because there's definitely a delay, I just want to say thank you to both of you for this adventure arc. It was fun.
Yes.
And I'm excited for our next arc. Should be interesting. So we'll work out the details there.
Yeah, the thing that we were originally thinking of, I can't imagine going and doing that side quest instead of just going back straight to Baldur's Gate at this point.
Sure, we can talk about it offline about what we want to do next, because we don't have to do what we were originally talking about. It can be something entirely different. So we actually have a lot we need to talk about because of all the things that just happened at the end of this. Yeah.
It'll be good.
God, we went from like being like Box of Screws is going to be our patron to like Box of Screws is going to be our primary antagonist.
What you know that's thus?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not both?
Okay, here we go. So, the best method with technology of the time is melt the iron, put a mesh right at the surface of water, and then pour the melted iron into the mesh. Wow, okay. That both gives you small pellets and also makes them hard and brittle, so they can be crushed into smaller dust. That's super cool. I never would have thought of that.
That sounds so much easier. I think Lovelace didn't know that, and Lovelace spent the time filing this column iron.
Yeah. Mesh should be steel rather than iron, or you'll need to keep replacing it. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so satisfying to like crush iron pellets.
Yeah.
Just like.
Yeah. Man, that's so cool. Thank you so much, Winged Scribe. Really appreciate it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough of that. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Next Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.